Hey, hey, you're cute, but you are not helping.
She is.
You're not helping.
Yes, she is.
Hey, I love you lots, but I kind of have a thing I'm trying to do, and you just crashed my party.
She.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 5, Rusty Collins Recap Comic Book Review. Um, as I stated earlier, it's a very, very short pull list. 5 weeks in the month. End of the month, I literally have 5 comics for you guys. This should be like a less than 20-minute episode, and that's even if I decide to ramble on like a crazy old man or something of that nature. So, um, yeah, now that the hiccups are done, let's get on with it. Alright, first thing we got is Jean Grey number 11 by Dennis Hopeless, Victor Ibanez, Alberto Albuquerque, and J. David Ramos. So this is the last issue of the Young Time Place Jean Grey comic, because the old-fashioned everybody loves actually Jean Grey is back. Hooray! This Jean spent the entire issue, young Jean here, young Jean, spent the whole issue running through this mindscape that she knew was BS, because everywhere she went it had the same smell. She'd be in a completely different place, but it'd smell exactly the same. And finally she calls it out, like, you smell like ozone and burning cinders. It's the blame in Phoenix. Quit toying with me. And it was really kind of... The Phoenix is a cosmic entity, and this young girl beat it. Like, outsmarted it. So that kind of frustrated me, especially because of some of the other things I've seen, even with the Phoenix, say, recently in Thor a couple arcs back. So it really kind of bothered me. This comic has been great. I've liked the gene of these young kids. I don't like these young kids. They kind of bug the crap out of me. But Jean has been the best one of them. So I was reading the comic and I enjoyed it. I'm kind of sad it's going away, but we get our old-fashioned Jean Grey back in X-Men Red, which I've got the first issue next week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, she outsmarts the Phoenix, gets out of this time escape, and goes home. And when she gets home, the real Jean Grey is waiting for her. And, yep, that's it. So, kind of there. Whatever. It happens. Alright, next up on the list, we've got Star Wars DJ Most Wanted. This is a one-shot. This is done by Ben Ackerman and Ben Blackerman. Yeah, that screwed me up too. Kevin Walker and Mark Deering. So this issue just kind of gave a little bit of a personal insight on this character, DJ. He's a slicer. It shows him go into a casino and intentionally lose a couple of hands and then start winning buku bucks. And about the time he realizes he's going to get caught, he goes to leave, and he kind of manipulates the law on this particular planet because the casinos run it, not the police. So the police are kind of second-rate citizens to the security chiefs of each casino, and it was just kind of funky. And it showed you this guy's scheme, and the Star Wars comics have been great for this. They'll show you a scheme, and the story for this was he put a virus in his money because it's all digital. He's a slicer, so he'd lose a couple hands, and the virus would get in there, and then it would literally jack up the laws of probability. So he would win and win and win and win, and that was how he was cheating. There was no way to physically prove it, but it was very obvious the guy was cheating, and the casinos would get wise and go to throw him out, and he bounced to the next one, and he was dealing with these cops, and it was just kind of a cool little insight into this character DJ that nobody really knows much about. So that was super fun. Not amazing, but fun. Alright, we have Detective Comics #1. This is a origin of Clayface, because they've been dealing with him in and out of the detective line, and they've been kind of giving him a little bit more of a backstory than just got turned into a monster. So this has been awesome. This is done by James Tynan IV, Eddie Barrows, drawn by Eber Ferreira and Andreas Lucas. Man, I'm so sorry. Anyways, This comic was awesome. I'm probably gonna spend more time on this than I should, but that was just because this comic really blew me away. It started with Clayface as a kid. It starts with him as a child talking to his dad, and his dad makes movie props that are very realistic and very scary back in the day, and he's showing him how he does it with this chemical bonding agent. And the art in this is phenomenal. So here's your chemical bonding agent, and the dad showing him kind of how it works. And it says don't use it on human skin, but you see the dad use it on his skin to manipulate his face. And he tells the son, don't ever let anybody see the monster inside you. And Basil kind of is like, okay, okay, don't do that. So he grows up and it shows him as in Hollywood with an agent. And again, like I said, the art in this has just been just spot on. I mean, it was gorgeous art the entire way through. It shows him with this gal Glory, who's been in and out of Detective Comics a lot, kind of what their personal relationship was. He's driving his car, and he gets a phone call that his dad has died, and he crashes the car, and he wakes up in the hospital. Now, this is a movie star. He's beautiful. He's gorgeous. He's going to make millions of dollars. He's going to do all these movies. He's an actor and blah blah blah. And he wakes up, and that's what that's what he sees. So he starts to have this freak out, and he goes back to his dad's place, and they kind of treat him like crud because he looks like a weirdo, and he finds this bonding agent in the back, and he shows up the next day for this movie that he's supposed to do, totally healed. Totally healed. Because he uses this bonding agent, and it makes him go crazy, and Batman gets involved, and he starts to break down and go nuts, and finds an entire couple pallets of this stuff, and goes to steal it. The cops freak out. The cops shoot. He gets spilled all over him, turns into a puddle of mud. This is where the origin story of him kind of takes off more traditionally, and all the rest of this has been kind of a filler. So I love the crud out of this. I mean, the art in this was just so good. It was so good. Annuals are just kind of nifty one-shots that don't usually matter for a lot, but this one definitely told a story that they didn't have time to tell in the normal book without kind of dragging it and slowing it down. So this was an amazingly good place to just kind of put that story while complementing the book and not dragging things out. And I thought this was handled very well. And the Curse of Clayface, the origin of him, I liked this book a lot. Not like 5-star, everybody has to read it. But man, was it enjoyable in so many levels. Alright, next up on the lineup tonight, Dark Knight Metal number 5. I know I've had people asking about this book. Yes, I'm covering it. Yes, I know if you watch my pull list, I got the wrong one. I got it fixed. Again, I have the greatest comic book shop in the world. I showed up and was like, man, I bought a variant for a previous issue. I meant to buy the current issue. And the shop owner looks at me and goes, would you bring the comic back? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I bought a comic. It's mine. Like, I made that mistake as a consumer. I can't return a comic book necessarily. And he was like, yeah, man. You know what? Bring that book in later, and we'll get you a trade out credit for it for something you actually want and need. I have the best comic book shop in the world. I love these guys. They're so great. So sorry for that side tangent. I had to throw that out there because, man, good businesses deserve to be given credit. Anyways, again, taking longer than I should, but I only have 5 comics, so. Dark Knight Metal number 5. This comic is written by, these names are great, Scott Sorcerer King Snyder, Greg Gut Punch Capullo, Jonathan Jump at the Gorge Galpian. This is literally what they have written in here. I mean, they've had fun with this. They're screwing around. They're having a blast because Metal has been exactly that. It's been a blast. You get to see Old Man Bruce Wayne and Clark, and then Superman fighting this demon Hawkman. I mean, look at this demon Hawkman. The thing's massive. It's just a giant crashing this forge of eternity that creates some universes and destroys the rest. It's just kind of what it does. You see Wonder Woman trying to track down some nth metal. She's trying to find Carter Hall Hawkman's actual mace. And she's being pursued, and she finally gets a hold of it. And you get to see this awesome moment where she just clocks Black Adam. I mean, takes him down. He's got this real cute smile on her face. Like, I could get used to this, holding this, like, war mace. Like, it's great. Uh, Batman Who Laughs shows up, kind of takes Wonder Woman out a little bit. You get to see Deathstroke and Aquaman trying to destroy this machine that they've found. The Green Lantern Corps is all over the dang place trying to do stuff. Somebody who we have not seen in a very long time shows up in this comic book, and that is Martian the Manhunter. Jahan. He's there. Nobody's seen him for like 2 Piplup years. He showed up in Metal. They're kind of starting to explain why he's not been present. Because he's been fighting and tracking this. You get to see more of these evil Batmans. You get to see more of the plan evolve. The end of the comic, though, is what really got me, because Wonder Woman and evil Hot Girl, because Hot Girl's been corrupted by this darkness, are fighting, and Wonder Woman cold cocks her with the lasso of truth. And she remembers who she is. And they have this gorgeous line about it, because the Barbados starts to sing and yell and scream and make this horrible sound that all the bad guys are kind of coming around to. And Wonder Woman sees just how dire the situation is on Earth, and she's like, I need you to yell. Not anything other than just a yell. And Hot Girl's like, I don't understand, what kind of yell? And she's like, a war cry. And the comic ends with the two of them charging off into battle against an endless horde of just the nastiest, horriblest things you've ever seen in your life. And you're like, yeah, Wonder Woman's a dang tank! So, yeah, Metal's been fantastic. Absolutely loving it. There's one more one-shot, and the final issue, so this is coming to a close. The Batman Who Laughs is... God, he's creepy. So spoopy. And, yeah, it's great. I love it. Metal has been ultra fun. I cannot wait for it to get done, because this is one of those things that as soon as I have it all, I will immediately go back and just reread the whole thing all over again, because it's been absolutely a blast. They just wanted to do a fun event, and by golly, they made a fun dang event. This thing's been great. Alright, final comic of the night is Silencer #1. This is from the Age of Heroes line out. This is done by John Romita Jr., Dan Abnett, Sandra Hope, and Dean White. Alright, so the basic idea of this is Talia Ghul has all her assassins and enforcers and things, and one of them was granted freedom. She was allowed to leave, with the blessings and everything. Like, here's your whole, like, 401k of assassin package. You get to go live a normal life. This lady goes out, gets married, has a child, and starts living the everyday life. She's grocery shopping with her kid. This giant robot guy shows up, like a big biker that she recognizes. She fights him down. She has the power to make a sphere of silence, so you can't hear. So the kid has no idea the mom, like, trashes this bad guy. She goes home. She sees the husband. They have this nice little family moment, which I'm a family man. I really appreciate my family. I love my family a lot. So seeing a genuine family interaction, not like a forced family interaction in a comic, that was nice. I really liked that. And that was the thing I liked the most about this comic, was her talking with the kid and her talking with the husband. The action in this comic was kind of meh. The story in this comic is kind of meh. Talia Ghul shows up, and the weirdest looking Talia Ghul, because she's trying to look like a normal person. So these two chicks end up looking like, this universe's version of Betty and Veronica, standing around chatting, and it's pages and pages of them just talking, being mundane, which, like I said, I like the family interaction. And they start to introduce the storyline of people have figured out who this lady is, who Silencer is, that she's a normal, everyday person where she lives, what she's doing, and her old life is coming to destroy her new life, because you don't get to murder that many people and just walk away scot-free, is basically the premise. So all these people that she's hurt in the past are now coming to get her, and Talia's like, hey man, I said you were free to leave our organization. I didn't say anything about the rest of the dang world, so you are getting a warning that people are trying to kill you, and you should probably leave. And this chick's ignorant, just like, no, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna take care of my family. And it ends with her having to put on this armor and take out these bad guys, and yeah. I see why people complain and cry and gripe about John Romita Jr.'s art. I don't hate it, but man, there were some moments in this book. So, unlike Damage, where I'm kind of interested and kind of intrigued, like, I'm tempted to actually get a subscription to that stuff coming out for the solicitations in the future from my previous book. Look genuinely good. This book, no, no, I it's not bad. I just have no interest in it. So, yeah, I think right at this point, we don't have any solid winners. We've just got one in the competition and one kind of floating. So the Age of Heroes thing is not awful, but it is definitely not a grand slam. It's kind of lower midline so far. So let's hope it picks up with these next ones, because we got the Jim Lee book coming up, and we've got the Fantastic Four. I mean, the Terrifics. The Terrifics. Holy smokes, that's it. That's a wrap. We've already covered my whole 5 books of the night. So that was it. Like I said, 5 Wednesdays this month. Made a weird week this time. Next month is February. As I stated, there will be a week where I have 16 comics coming. So I will break that episode into 2 parts for the sake and sanity of all of my viewers. Speaking of, I keep slowly picking up more and more. I've got 25 subscribers as of recording this right now. I'm 2.5% to my goal of 1,000 people. Yay, maths! So, thank you guys for the support. Like I said, keep telling your friends. Special thanks again to my local comic book shop, Griffin Comic and Games. You guys are awesome, and I would not be doing this if you guys weren't here. So, thank you guys much, and I'll see you again in a couple days. Bye.
Did you get it?